You ever dream about cruising to the end of the world, Anthony?
Talking about waves, I once had a perm. I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey everybody, welcome to the one and only No Vacancy Live. Of course, that's Anthony Melchiori. I'm still Glenn Hausman. It is great to see you today. Thanks for spending some time with us. Anthony, you know, one of the cool things is we talk about hotels day after day after day after day, but I feel like every once in a while we get to dip our foot in the water of cruising, right?
Yeah, you know what I think would be a good idea is to take a hotel, put it in the sea, get great restaurants, great entertainment, and just float it across the ocean and come up with something like, like a cruise ship or something.
I think you might be onto something, but if it was up to me, you know what? There's these crazy cruise ship wars going on. Nothing against these big giant ships that keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but I'm at the point in my life where I just kind of want to be left alone. That's what I really like about Seabourn Cruise Lines. They've got small, purpose-built ships that do great cruises and expeditions like this incredible venture over here, which actually has some submarines on it, Anthony. So let's welcome to the show the incredible Natalya Leahy, President, Seabourn Cruise Line. Welcome, Natalya.
Well, thank you. It's so good to be here, Anthony and Glenn, and I love the background. Beautiful, beautiful trip.
Anthony, you did something with your microphone now. It's making all sorts of noises. Sorry, Natalya. Please continue.
Yes, I loved your description because it's not just the hotel. It's the best luxury hotels that you can imagine in the world and the most fine dining experience. And you put it in this yacht-like purpose-built ships that can take you in the places in the world you can't get otherwise. So I love how you described it. So proud of our newest expedition ships as well.
That's cool. Anthony, you got this weird buzzing going on with the wire. Could you just try checking the wire? There we go. Perfect.
Already.
Perfect. Go for it, Anthony.
So, talking to you in the green screen in the background for just a few seconds, you can see that you have a passion for this business. So I want to know, I ask this to people that just are overly passionate about what they do. You can just see it in your smile and in your mannerisms. Give me the moment that, if you have to go all the way back, or it could have been, not too far back, where you knew you wanted to do this for the rest of your life, that you wanted to be in this position and do what you're doing for a living. When was that? Was that when you were 5 years old, or was that when you were 30 years old? What was that?
Oh, wow. Well, I have many moments. I will share my recent moment, where I just knew I'm in the right place and I have the best job in the world. I think about 6 years ago, we started a dream. We had a dream of bringing very well-known Seabourn luxury. We really call it ultra luxury, where it's highly personalized service and really finest experiences in the world on board our ships. We had a dream to bring that into the world of exploration. And so we started this project that we called Project Venture. Few weeks before the end of the year, in I think early December, I was waking up one Friday morning and I'm running around getting my girls ready for school, and I see my phone is buzzing, and it's Robin West, our expedition leader, calling from the ship. And for a second, I'm like, oh, why am I getting called from the ship at 7 a.m.?
Yep.
And I see the text from him. He's like, answer the phone.
Oh, no.
So I answer the phone, and all of a sudden I'm on a video, and I see this live moment where two of our expedition ships, Seabourn Venture and Seabourn Pursuit, met in Ushuaia, first time ever, and everyone is waving to me, and I'm watching our guests literally cheering each other with glasses of champagne across from two ships with this amazing background. And I see the small faces of my shoreside leadership team all tearing up as they're watching this moment. And at that point, I was so proud because I felt our dream actually did come true. We are taking people to the places that were not available to most up until recently without compromises. And I did step back and I thought I do actually have the best job in the world because we truly are touching
Yeah.
and transforming people's lives.
Yeah. That Anthony.
That's a beautiful story,
Yeah.
and it's a lifetime of work and teamwork, and it's not easy. And everything matters, and it's the nuances. When you get the nuance right, and the small details that nobody notices right, everything else takes care of itself.
I agree. I agree. Well, a lot of people ask me, Anthony, as I took this job, what does ultra luxury mean to you? What's luxury means in general? It's of course very personal definition, but it is in details, isn't it? We actually launched the program that's called Delight in the Details, and it's all about taking the little things that when you walk on board our ships, we greet you by name and we say, Anthony, welcome back to your home away from home. And you feel like everyone on the ship was waiting just for you. And the whole cruise is just for you and your family and your friends. And we know the coffee you order for breakfast, and we know the wines that you like to drink for dinner, and hopefully we can also find the way to surprise and delight you with something that you didn't even know you want. So that is all about details, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Natalya, you've been in this position as president of Seabourn for just about a year now. So it's a good time to take a look. One of the things we like to do is show people that they can achieve and they could do anything, right? And becoming president of a cruise line is pretty amazing. What was that like, making that transition from when you were COO in your former position to taking the reins as the leader of a new job? How'd that go, and what was it like for you?
Well, it's a fantastic question. I think I was a leader before. Every one of our team members is actually leader.
Yeah, but you weren't the ultimate
My
boss.
job
That's what I mean.
is
Yeah.
but I'm at the helm of the
Yeah.
Seabourn, and I love that. I think the biggest I had the privilege of supporting Seabourn through my entire time with Carnival Corporation and in the previous roles,
Yes.
but not in this role. And I thought I know, and I always appreciated and loved Seabourn business. I think one of the biggest biggest internalization as I took this role for me was what an important role our team members, our crew members play in the experience of guests. Because we are very proud of a fantastic, elegant looking ships and designs. And we are very proud of our culinary experiences that rivals best restaurants in the world. But when I asked every guest why Seabourn, they all talk about the connection with our crew members. We have over 4,000 crew members from 94 countries in the world. Wow. And what I realized, that's what actually makes secret sauce for Seabourn experience. And that, I think, was a little bit of an eye-opening for me, because that's what really creates this brand.
But every company talks about what you just said. Every company says it's about our crew members, it's about our employees, it's about our team. But very few are able to accomplish that on such a grand scale. There's so many things to what you do. Service is number 2 compared to safety. So you have to deal with safety, you have to deal with service, you have to deal with elegance, you have to deal with all the things that you have to deal with, and you have to do it at sea. So why is your company able to do it where a lot of companies, whether at sea or not at sea, are unable to do it? What do you do to tap into your employees that other people may not do?
Well, first of all, we are very intentional, right? So it doesn't really happen by chance. It starts with our recruiting strategy. We really spend time recruiting people, not just with great technical skills and experiences in hospitality and a luxury brand, but we are recruiting people with certain personality profile. Because when I describe Seabourn service, it's a very engaging, warm service, and that's what makes us stand out. That's where guests say, I feel like I am not just being delighted and spoiled. I feel like I'm actually among friends and among family members. And that requires incredible emotional intelligence. So all of our team members from all over the world have this certain profile of emotional intelligence when they know how to connect, not just how to serve. It's very different. They don't know just only how to serve, they know how to connect with each individual on an individual basis, when to joke, when to surprise them, when to do something unexpected. And that takes a lot. On top of it, we don't only hire right people with right emotional intelligence profiles, we spend a lot of intentional time to train our people. We call it Seabourn Academy. So whenever our new team members join the team, they go through the training, and majority of this training time is devoted to really Seabourn culture and that type of secret sauce of what makes us us. And then you continue that, and there is a lot of mentoring. And as a result of it, when I look at my senior leadership team, I have quite few team members who started on board our ships from very entry-level positions, and now they're running the company.
That's awesome.
And you said two words that are very important. I smiled when you said emotional intelligence because I'm actually, after this call, after our next two podcasts, I'm getting on and finishing up my program that I'm facilitating. It's about it's about emotional intelligence. And so, a matter of fact, the man who basically started talking about it, okay, I just got his book, and
that's so funny that's right next to you.
Yeah, and because I'm working on the program, and I think it's because some of us were just born with a lot more than others. I happen to be born with a lot more than some people, and I'm sure you are too. But really pulling that out of somebody and identifying that person may have the most experience and the most technical experience, but that person's going to make stuff happen and figure stuff out when you're sleeping in your bed comfortably on shore. They're going to figure it out and then solve the problem so you don't have to get woken up at 7 o'clock in the morning. And you said another word that I find that most people don't say. When I asked that question, the first thing you said is you went to the ground. You went to, oh my God, the word just came out of my head. Intentional. You just said it was intentional. And everything you do is intentional. And I think that's the difference between such a great brand like yours and some other brands, that aren't as intentional. And that word is probably the most critical word there is for business.
Well, I think, Anthony, you said something that really resonates with me. It's the people are born with something. We're all born with our own light. But as a companies, as a leaders, our job is to bring that light out of each person and make it shine. And that takes intentionality, but it also takes right processes and programs in place. So it does start from recruiting, but then it starts with creating an atmosphere on board where people feel supported, they feel they can be themselves. It takes mentorship programs, and not just ones that happen by chance, but actually organized and managed. It takes listening and learning, and I expect every one of my shoreside executive team members to spend some time on board. And when we go on board, we don't just meet with the captain and executive ship leadership team. We really go and spend time in the laundry room and in the engine room and listen to crew members. By the way, that's how we learn the most things that we do for our guests, because no one knows guests better than the person who is with them through the whole journey, serving them, listening to them, seeing their reactions.
Funny you should mention that, Natalya. Our great guest yesterday, Chris Manley, he's president of a hotel management company and founder of that organization, talked about the same thing. The best ideas to improve their business comes from the ones that are in it every single day. But what I really think the defining difference for you, Natalya, is that getting people who are on land to go to sea and on land to really understand what the different dynamics are at play, so they could probably increase their emotional intelligence to understand what those individuals are faced with every single day as well. So super clever on that.
Absolutely. And continue, listen, this is also about giving people
Right.
development opportunities, right? People want to grow and learn and shine when they know they actually can continue to grow and the company supports them. So again, it's about designing the development programs and career pathing for people so they can become
Yep.
from a beverage runner to a senior vice president running the business, right?
So we have a lot of kids in hospitality schools and younger people that listen to our show. So I'm going to ask you a question that maybe you can impart some wisdom. You know, we talk about service, we talk about intentionality, we talk about emotional intelligence, but in your role, you have a lot of responsibilities for other things like profit and loss statements, like cash flow, like safety. So how do you keep the pressure of a job like that? And I'd imagine there's a lot of pressure in that job with the intentionality of what's going on ship, or on directness of what's going on ship, with that lightness. And because I would imagine you're always, when you're around your team, you are who you are. So how do you, what is, and I don't like to use the word secret, but what are your methods for handling not only the kind of nuts and bolts and stress of kind of your position, but also the fun stuff where you get to be with your team?
Well, that's a very big, loaded question, Anthony. So first of all, if I had to boil it down to one thing, it always takes many things, but one most important thing is surround yourself with right people who you can trust and then actually empower them to do their job. So that's, I think, is what, and I did spend some time thinking through what my team will be structured like and how. And I think it's ever evolving process, right? We all continue to evolve and we adjust our organizations as business and the world is changing. But that's most important thing. When you surround yourself by right team, it allows you to trust that people will bring to your attention things that I need to know, and I can give them guidance and coaching. And also, I think it's really helpful as we manage this multidimensional world to ask as many questions rather than try to give an answer. That's really an important, I think, most empowering personal development tool for me. When I ask questions, I learn a lot about the business. The ideas come to light, and it allows me to know how to coach and how to make decisions best way. But you mentioned something for the young people who are just starting to get the career in hospitality, and they all will start in very different roles, whether they're engineers and officers or waiters or beverage runners. I think it's really important that as people start the career, no matter what functional areas, that they exercise the curiosity about overall business, like what's happening from numbers, from reading earning statements to asking questions, to talking to guests, and really step outside of the area and see what brands they're working on, what business. I find that people who showcase that curiosity are the ones who goes furthest along in life and a career and make biggest impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's surrounding yourself with good people that you trust, and you move forward. You move forward together, and that's there's no secret to that. People ask me all the time, "What's the secret?" And I say, I put my pants on, I walk outside the house, and I surround myself with good people, and that's that's it. And everything else, you'll figure out. If you have a great team, how many times you've been in a situation when you're in a meeting or on board, whatever, and you don't know, you have no idea what the answer is. And maybe people think you should, but you have people around you that are going to get the answer. And that to me is the difference between mediocrity and being exceptional.
Hey, every day, it happens every day, you don't know. And the day when I think I know everything, it's the day I think we stop growing, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I really think hopefully we all every day find something we don't know.
So before we have some pictures we want to show, but before we do that, who was your biggest inspiration and why?
Ooh, that is such a tough question because I'm very fortunate. I met many people who inspired me and role models. I would say my grandmother. I'm from
Awesome.
Uzbekistan. She only had 7 years of education
Mm-hmm.
in school, and she had a very, very difficult life. She migrated from Russia to Uzbekistan during World War II when she was only 16 years old, from in a very difficult circumstances, and went through everything from hunger to just, you know, building the family, building her own house. But what I found in my memories of her is she our house was always we lived in such a modest environment, but our house was always full of people. She always found time to listen and to make time, and I would come home from school and it was always bubbling with some conversations and noise, and it just created that happy environment. But every evening I would go to bed, and she was the most well-read person I knew. And every evening I would lie down next to her and say, "Grandma, what book are you reading?" And she would be telling me these incredible stories about incredible places in the world from the books she was reading. And I remember that probably instilled that sense of
Yeah.
curiosity, that the world doesn't end there. And it always reminds me, like, the person it's not about years of education she had or degrees, but it's about mindset of curiosity and recognizing the world as a bigger place. I think probably she really had a most foundational impact from very early age on me.
Wow, that you got me a little emotional. That's
Yeah.
beautiful, and and it's deep, right? That's deeply rooted in you, and you bring that with wherever you go, and that's so being mindful, and mindset really are another key words that you learned early on. So thank you for sharing that. I'm glad I asked that question. That was a beautiful answer.
Yeah, too. And beautiful answers take us to beautiful ships that you have over there. I wanted to say beautiful boats, but it's not a sub. Although you do have 2 subs on
Yes.
this one. All right. So I'm gonna pull up your ocean vessel, the Odyssey. We're gonna take a look at a little pictures and use that as a framework to talk about luxury and design and what people want, including an incredible partnership that you folks have with the amazing Adam Tihany, who designs restaurant spaces. So without any further ado, I shall put this up. And by saying without further ado, it means there's some ado because I still had to get it up. All right, here we go. So we're taking a look here at just a swimming pool at sunset. This is absolutely beautiful photograph, but let me go to the next one. All right, we are looking at one of the suites here, yes?
Well, we are looking at one of the suites. Actually, Adam Tihany designed our Ovation, Encore, Venture, and Pursuit, and some restaurant spaces on Odyssey, Quest, and Sojourn.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a suite, right? And as you can see, that's hopefully you see an incredible spacious suites. All of our suites are oceanfront. And on Ovation, Encore, Pursuit, and Venture, all of our suites have verandas, and so there is an incredible amount of space and elements of design and luxury that create that sense of elegance and very, at the same time, welcoming and warm atmosphere. This is one of my favorite.
This is so cool.
That is very much of like what you would do on your private yacht. And that's why when guests go on board our ships, they do say, this is like, I don't need a yacht. That's my yacht.
Right.
You know what that is? What we call it?
Oh, no idea.
Okay. We call it Marina Day.
Okay.
It's when we find this beautiful location, hopefully like in this picture, it's usually in our warm waters. And we open up our marina and we deploy all our toys like banana boats, kayaks, and people just have a fun of their lifetime, right?
So you're not doing this in the Arctic, just to be clear.
Well, hold on.
Well, at least not kayaking.
We have a lot of toys in Arctic.
I bet you do.
Kayaks and zodiacs.
No way.
Of course, in addition to 2 submarines that we talked about, and We are doing Glen polar plunge, both in Arctic and in Antarctica. I done one in Greenland. It's
Right.
quite a life-changing
Wow.
experience.
I did a polar plunge once, but for me, the water's like 83 degrees. It was still pretty chilly. I can't imagine doing that. So look at this beautiful space in here. And what I really like about this, Anthony, is that it's getting it down to the real personal level, right? From the way that the ship is built, from the way that the staff interacts with you on that ship. And I think people are craving more intimate experiences now. How do you see it?
Absolutely. Well, at least our travelers, our guests are very in their regular lives. They're very accomplished, busy
Yep.
people. So when they go to travel and explore the world, they really want to have that intimacy space where they can create these lasting connections, both with places they visit and with fellow passengers without feeling overwhelmed and crowded. So it is a very important part of our experiences, making you feel like you really are on the ship and it's your ship. That picture, if you go back, Seabourn
I
Square.
absolutely will. Give me one moment, please. This one?
Yeah, well, one before. Seabourn Square is one of the most popular spaces on ship. Every ship has that, and that's almost like a little marketplace, right? You come there.
Yeah, those croissants are looking pretty good right about now.
And we also make our own gelato. It's a homemade gelato there, and by the way, our chefs train for 3 weeks in Italy, Bologna, before they are allowed to make gelato on board our ships.
Wow.
And we roast our own coffee. So people come and you can see this whole process and have a cup of coffee, have your gelato, have a conversation with our crew member or future cruise consultant, or just read the book and relax the view. So that's one of my favorite places as well. But it's a really cool place to hang out when you have some time.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, this suite's absolutely beautiful, and I love the private verandas and all. And now, being that I haven't been on one of these ships before, I feel like the private verandas is kind of like more of the space where you'd hang out on, lounge chairs and stuff like that, instead of necessarily up at top, all of you together, right? Is there pool space up top? How does that?
Yeah,
work
you
for
can
public
go
spaces?
hang out on a pool space, on a bar lounge. But on a private verandas, one of my favorite things to do on board our ships is to do an in-suite dining dinner when you can actually dine in your private veranda. But it's nothing like a room service in a hotel. We actually will come and serve you course by course.
No way.
With a waiter at your privacy of your room or your veranda, and you can just enjoy, have a dinner for two in the most romantic atmosphere, looking outside on the ocean, and we'll be there to serve you.
Wow,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Let's take a look again at some of this design over here. Another beautiful suite for sure. That's really beautiful as well. And wow, outdoor dining, right? Like right with the ocean views. That's absolutely beautiful as well. So what are you finding, Natalya, outside the expedition part of it? Because that's got to be an incredibly growing scene. What are folks that are looking for something more traditional yet more private? What kind of trips are they going to at this point? It looks like you've got great trips all around like Thailand, and then other parts in the South Pacific, and like down towards Australia, and all these crazy things.
Well, I'm actually heading to Australia end of next week. So it's very popular destinations in Australia and New Zealand and South Pacific as well. But of course, there are always all-time favorites, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, Mediterranean is all-time favorites.
Yep.
And what makes Seabourn experience in Mediterranean unique is we can go to Greek islands, to places where the largest ships can get to. So we can actually take you to Mediterranean and give you the taste of Mediterranean that you truly wouldn't otherwise experience if you travel by land or if you travel on the bigger ships. Mm-hmm. So it's a very intimate, whether it's a Croatia experience on islands or Greek islands are incredibly popular and people love it. It's continuous all-time favorites. Of course, Alaska.
Yeah.
It's almost 70% of people starting a cruising start from Alaska. It's
Really?
very popular destination, and kind of like a bucket list that is maybe a little bit easier to get to rather than Antarctica or Arctic.
Agreed. Yeah.
We have again, Alaska is beautiful experience on any travel or ship. But on what makes Seabourn unique is we have this program that called Ventures by Seabourn, and
Mhm.
that's kind of like taste of expedition experience on board our ocean vessel. So we go to Alaska to again places that no other cruise ships go, and we launch our kayaks and zodiacs, and people can get this intimate wildlife experience while watching, come as close to glacier as you possibly can imagine. So this makes it an incredibly popular destination, one of the top of the
Yeah,
list.
I was fortunate to take a small vessel close to a glacier, and I will tell you, it's probably one of the craziest, most insane, most emotional experiences I've ever felt. Because if you just feel like there's nothing else in the world but you and the glacier. So yeah, that is an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, it's kind of like you skip the beat. When I started in this role, Anthony, I had onboarding with each captain. So I was talking to our captain on Alaska ship, and I was asking him about his history, and he told me something that I really remember. He said, I sailed in Alaska before for quite a few years, and he said, I realized I have never seen Alaska until I started sailing on Seabourn. And that really, really made
Right.
me stop in my tracks like, wow, because it's because of that absolutely life, like you're in a harbor glacier and really on a kayaks right there. I mean, that's life-changing experience.
Is 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and now, what's the difference in the guest? Is there different expectations? What's the most significant change that you've seen outside of technology?
I was going to say, well, of course, technology is a big change. People expect now to stay connected or disconnected based on their choice. I think there are some similarities, and the core of our guests is the same because I think our guests really look for this genuine, authentic connection with places they visit. It's not just about travel or checking the bucket list. For them, it's really building uh, that unique kind of experience with both destinations they visit, also with fellow travelers and with crew members. So that stayed the same. And expectations of choice stayed the same. They want to have a choice in how they want to travel, what they want to eat, who they want to dine with, and on and on. I think that what we see more and more in general in society, and certainly among ultra luxury guests, is that notion of experience matters more than things.
Yes.
So people want to have that experience. Therefore, that's why Seabourn service is a secret sauce. Why people choose Seabourn versus other great brands is because that how we make them feel matters even more than the beautiful sweets we offer or what they eat. And even in a dining and a culinary experience, we talked about that with my team just recently as well, launching Solace, our new fine dining Mediterranean restaurant, is not just about getting people a fine, wonderful culinary dishes. It's all about how they experience it again. So I think the expectations, even when you come to the restaurant, is not just what food you eat, but how you experience the culture of that food. How do we create that Mediterranean atmosphere on board? How we have a little ceremony for coffee or tea or like cocktails that we serve, that they really have more than just enjoying the food. So that I think will continue to change, to evolve. I think it's not really a change; it's just an evolution in that
Yep.
direction. That how people feel is how they make choices on how to vacation.
Yeah, it certainly was, and we saw the same sort of phenomenon with like African safaris that have these incredible tents. The whole idea is you have the adventure during the day, and then you could have that luxury at night. And you're really being able to mix that with moving more about that, and that's where your on-ship expedition team is pretty cool as well, because they really help train you and get you to that adventure part. But you do it while eating some caviar and sipping champagne. That's pretty
Caviar
cool
on
too,
ice, and yes,
right? All right.
yeah.
So one thing that's on this website that is making me go, that I'm very impressed with, Anthony. It says here, looking on their stuff, why sail with Seabourn. Tipping is neither required nor expected. That just makes me want to tip more. Actually,
Yeah,
how do you feel about that?
As an American that comes on and we're known for tipping, do most Americans abide by that and just say, okay, we're not tipping because we don't insult anybody? Or do you still see people needing to tip?
Well, so first of all, we are all-inclusive experience, right?
Yes,
So what
and
we
real
expect from our
all-inclusive.
guests is
Right.
really and frankly, it is. I truly mean it. It's the best
Right, because
luxury
with most
value
cruise lines,
proposition to
Natalya,
travel.
yeah. Like I was just saying, for people that don't know, most cruise lines, you have to upgrade if you want to go to a specific restaurant. You have to pay more to get the better view. You have to pay, you have to pay a fee for this, for that, the other thing. You're truly all inclusive. You're not reaching into the pockets of people every single minute.
Right, including that you
Right.
can enjoy your fine wines and beverages of your choice, and it's all included. And within that, yes, we don't expect tipping, we don't ask for tipping, we don't monitor if our guests tip. It is a personal choice. We do have a crew welfare, we call it splash fund, where if the guests want to leave something, we allow them this opportunity if they ask, and we use this money for the benefit of crew and welfare. So yes, some guests tip, but it's really, we are not managing that and we are not expecting.
Yeah, I just
Great.
love the whole idea of really everything being truly included. And that's why I love the all-inclusive idea, because I'm not sitting there making a decision if I'm going to buy this drink now or do that other thing. I could just simply be. And when I'm on vacation, as somebody that's going to be spending money, I just want to like be freed from the daily life that I have. And that's why you're able to create such experiences. Anthony?
Glenn, when I
Yeah.
open my own cruise ship, I'm going to
Yeah.
come up with your tagline: "Simply be."
Yeah.
And that's a great tagline. That's a great tagline.
Right? Because don't we need, thank you. I appreciate that. But we really need a lot more of that sort of thing. And Natalya, I was fascinated with this. So I was looking for cruises, and hard to find one that was available because apparently you're so popular. But once I did, looking at the pricing, like, it's pretty reasonable when compared to a land-based resort that's not even at the luxury level you're talking about. So I'd highly encourage everybody to take one of these cruises with you.
Oh, I am so glad you said that. So I didn't have to say that, right?
Right. That's genuine.
I really believe, by the way, cruising in general, that is not just about Seabourn. Cruising in general is one of the best value proposition.
Yeah.
No matter what cruise line of your choice in terms of travel experience. And I certainly think when you think about Seabourn ultra luxury experiences, from, like you mentioned, the caviar 24/7, anytime. We're going to serve you caviar on ice, caviar on the beach, caviar on your balcony, whatever you want, to champagne, to anything. You don't have to worry. You unpack once. You don't have to tip. You don't have to pay some tax or something is hidden there. And you just, if you look at the pricing, I do believe our guests would say this is the best value proposition for truly ultra luxury experience.
I
agree. Anthony, anything else for our incredible guests before we
No,
wrap up today?
it's actually an honor to talk to you, and a pleasure. And good luck with everything in the future. And we are available to cruise and do a podcast at the same time.
Well, listen, I think you should. And next time, I will be very much looking forward to seeing your podcast from on board one of our ships.
I would love that.
Beautiful, like Greek islands backdrop. So great seeing you. Thank
I
you for
love that.
giving me this opportunity to share
Thank
my
you.
experiences.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on getting to the end of your first year as president of Seabourn Cruise Line.
And you
Natalya
know what?
Leahy,
And thank
thanks so
you,
much.
and thank you to your grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And thanks to all of you for listening. But you know what I'm going to do. Another way of thanking us would be to why not download the audio version of our show? Find us wherever you get your podcast. If you're listening there right now, you're going to want to tune in and look at this particular episode because we had some great photographs that we were talking about. You didn't miss them because you're out there walking the dog. So check us out. You can find all of the shows on our respective LinkedIn pages, Instagram, Facebook pages, and of course at novacancynews.com. Thanks everyone for being here. Remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
Be kind to yourself.
see you next time.